toast. All right.
Welcome to usually it's me going, shut up, I'm starting. Welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of Leva Champ or Lucky Track Dog you run, SCC or NASA, we won't discriminate as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, news and notes in the world of low-dollar endurance racing, and whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or lucky enough and Chrissy gives us just a tip, we're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Thank you so much for coming back to another semanized episode, or palindromic.
Because you don't have to focus as much on your enunciation with palindromic as you do with semanized.
That was my dealio. I did that. Semanized episode. We're at episode 111. Still kind of crazy. Even more so when we have to prove to all of our people at SEMA that we've done so many episodes and we're that legit.
You mean that we're not complete bullshit? I mean, we're 98% bullshit, but
there's something in there. There's a nugget. There's a corn in that bullshit.
There is. Oh yeah.
All right, so we are on episode 111.
I don't remember eating corn.
If you're not driving a car, make sure you get that bingo card out, and we're moving on. It's taken us a little while to get here, but we're recording live. The four of us are sitting in the same room. Hell yeah!
Yeah, we are at Casa de Mental, and we're very fortunate that the wonderfully patient and fantastic chef Vicky has allowed us to take over her wonderful new home, and not only that, cook us an amazingly splendid meal.
My goodness!
That we basically licked our plates in the bowl.
You did lick your plate.
I did actually lick my plate. So we are well fed.
And so happy.
And everything's great. So it's time for what you're working on. So Mental.
Wait, should we ask Vicky to wave to Facebook land? Would you like to wave to
Facebook land's on.
No. Vicky does that. So I'm going to wave for Vicky.
She's
wave for
right
Vicky. She's over there.
Right off camera,
so,
everybody.
Because it's Mental's house, Mental, you're the first one that's going to say what you're working on.
So I did manage to make it to a press tour pre-run of the show to kind of get the layout, which helped.
We appreciate it. You gave us like very basic mild reconnaissance, but that helped us.
Up the escalator, turn right, turn left. We're good.
Yeah,
that was great.
First people in the door, get those press passes. Go hang out with Jay Leno.
Keep talking.
Why are you messing with my stuff?
Because if you're going to face them,
Mental.
no cheek pokes. No cheek pokes.
Prom date, not ice cream.
So I did that. And I have been not packing for MSR Houston and the Lemons Texas Rally.
Tomorrow. We can do that tomorrow.
We're still
dead.
Yeah, we're still unpacking the house, which that's going to be like a new bingo item because we're just still unpacking the house. Had some house guests this week, so Vicky was doing all the laundry and the cooking, and
she's done a great job, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
So that's what I've been working on.
Awesome. I guess I should talk about what I worked with on the weekend. So you remember that I was away with my students in Florida or in Orlando, sup Donnie.
Did you visit though?
I did not visit.
You had no time to visit.
I did not leave the
No way.
convention center. So while I was away, the lovely and talented wife Jennifer got a gas line installed because our electric stove was dead, and I got to fix the gas stove by changing all of the orifices. I just wanted to say orifice.
In relation to gas.
Yes.
Propane to natural
propane to natural gas. Yes.
No, I'm sorry. Yes,
Yes, propane to natural
But you
gas.
didn't like my suggestion of drilling out each individual orifice.
No, wait.
Okay, fine.
Also unsafe, maybe?
I went to the office for
totally legit.
Count them one day, and packed to come to Vegas.
I mean, yeah, sure. We did that.
Yeah. Chris, what you working on?
Well, last weekend, Chrissy and I went car shopping for a while. That's going to be a subject of a completely different episode one time because there's a lot to say, and you all have had a lot to say about it when we posted on it. So tough choices between a Jag and
Jag.
a Mercedes E-Class, a Civic Type R, and the Panamera is a distant fourth, sadly, but that's the truth.
It's just a crappier Audi.
It did. I did tie rods on Chrissy's dad's Escape. Didn't think it would pass inspection because of the tragic frame rust and rocker rust. And guess what? Today I heard from my mechanic it didn't pass inspection. So I would say pour one out for the Escape, but I won't because that is a tragically awful car. Every time I've driven it, I said, why did people buy these? The only reason I can think of is they never tried anything else. And they were coming out of there like a 93 Taurus.
Yes.
And said, yeah, this seems nice. Because
It's got doors and wheels.
Yeah. And they didn't know any better.
It's loud.
And they bought it, and it's so
not
bad.
good. No.
And
It's
awful.
ponderous, and the handling
really
is
not
awful.
a good
It doesn't go
car.
down the highway well.
No.
Like, it's coarse. It's awful.
But he upgraded, didn't he?
Well,
No.
he has a different car
I get what you're saying here.
in Snowflake, but I think what's really going to happen there, and they're listening to this and they'll hear it and it's fine. I think Joe's going to inherit Carol's Mazda 5, which because of us has Coney FSDs.
Oh yeah,
and, all that
it's
stuff.
a
all the good
performance.
things
It's
that
legit,
they
and
need,
it's been incredibly maintained over 150,000 miles. That's amazing how well that car's been maintained. And I think Carol's going to get an MDX. That's how it's all going to work out.
That's legit.
Yeah.
Now
And
they only made
pitched
it
out
for
well.
what was the was it the ZDX the swoopy one?
That's
or
a
she
swoopy
getting
one. No, she wants the MDX, like the normal
Okay,
one.
that was a Jeff Glucker suggestion when we were out here car shopping.
But we
ZDX?
also,
Sure.
Yeah.
but she
Well, that's
picked it
great
up.
because you're a couple and you don't do anything. They actually put stuff in the back and they put people.
Okay,
and they
that's
go to the
fair.
beach and
Yeah,
things like that. Right,
ZDX looks good, but it ain't holding
But-
anything.
So I'd just like to mention we are also joined by James McGuire
Yay!
on the Facebook Live.
Hey, James.
Hey, James.
With the terrible Corvette magazine.
Corvette, man.
Corvette.
I'm very,
All right.
Yes.
I'm sorry that you all are up this late. If you're on the East Coast or somewhere
Yeah.
close to it, I apologize.
Hey, no judgments.
Don't you?
No,
people
no,
have
no.
jobs?
I'm sorry that
so-
this is so late.
Hey, last thing I've been doing, getting ready for SEMA.
SEMA.
Yeah, here we are.
And here we are.
So, Jeff, what have you been working on?
I already said it. Chrissy's up.
Yeah, whatever.
Dude.
So
I already
Chris,
did mine.
You
Chris skips
listen
over.
so
Chris skips over
right.
Chrissy. Check that
Check
off
it off
in
your
bingo
bingo
cards.
Touche, my friend. Touche.
Are you reading the notes? Come on. All
I
right.
didn't think we did an order.
So we're sometimes we don't, but that's fine.
Sorry,
So
we talked about Jeff's orifices. Now I remember.
come on.
Just got lost in that black hole.
Right. Okay. So it's pretty late for us. So we went, as Chris said, we went car shopping. We have some visions on what we think are great. The internets think there's a different group of things that. Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize.
They don't share our values.
Well, I think we need to be more clear on what our values are. So we need to make sure that everybody knows what our priorities
Your
are.
car shopping is a scam.
And the answer is
It's a
not
it's
the
a
Buick
distraction.
Cross Tour.
Don't tell the
you're trying to overturn the previous car purchase.
Well, right. So, so we are, so we'll talk about that at a later show because we really have a lot of thought on
We
it.
got a lot of things to talk about.
We do, and there's a lot of feedback on the Facebooks and stuff. So we'll talk about that later. So,
It's very important to me that nobody makes Chris mad because I'm really excited about my next car and I want to make sure that he's very relaxed.
it's already going.
Very
So we just
soothed.
we're fine. We're fine. So anyway, Saturday night we had a family over for dinner. Sunday we had a really nice day. I cleaned the house, watched some football. We just actually washed cars then too, which were so necessary. Oh my gosh,
Who washes cars?
they were so
Literally
so-
everybody
just-
but you.
Weren't you just waxing ecstatic about the fact that you actually cleaned
I cleaned
the
the car.
detritus
Wow.
out of your car?
I
Okay.
threw the stuff out from the
Detritus.
cab. I didn't actually clean the outside.
Okay, anyway, so so we watched some football, which was great, and then we packed for SEMA. So here we are.
Yeah.
Let's
so-
talk about it.
Wait, news and notes.
My dogs will actually
time.
start howling
I know.
now.
Sorry.
They're not here though. They're not here.
Sorry, Erling.
This is just in,
Right.
and I broke this
During
during our breakfast. Well-known yellow and red Integra.
Best known for
Fritz Dahlen, Dahlen Boys. Best known for 2 years ago losing its brake and going straight into the
so scary.
Armco at turn 1.
In a brilliant bit of driving.
scary.
No,
Yes.
I think it was mostly luck. actually.
Totally.
Brilliant bit
Miss-
of luck.
Miss Black Betty by about 5 or 10 feet went straight in the Armco, destroyed the front end of his Integra, So Fritz Dahlen, who actually owns the Integra, posted up today that it was stolen. It's totally crashed. Accurate Integra.
This is so crazy.
Any idea what generation? It was like a later one,
It's a DC2, so it was like a 95.
Yeah.
So some Civic owners like, I'm totally going to get these awesome brakes.
Yeah, no, the brakes are not awesome.
No, it got stolen like every other 94 to 01 Integra, actually 94 to 99 Integra got stolen for the B18C1.
Yeah.
And the suspension, because you get a wider track on your Civic.
Not the same.
No.
But it's the bigger brakes.
Okay,
Yeah.
bigger brakes.
Track is the same.
So
it's the motor.
It's
the motor.
I should say
My Integra got stolen. Almost everyone else's that I know is Integra got stolen. Fortunately, when I got mine back, it had a motor. It didn't have any wheels.
It didn't have any wheels.
Didn't have my Comtech exhaust. It didn't have a subwoofer anymore. But I got the car back.
It was stolen from Columbia, Maryland, at Fritz's workplace. Sometime between the 1st and 4th of November. So if you see a Integra out there that says Dahlen Boys on it, please.
It should be pretty
call the
evident.
police.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
certainly not going to be driving anywhere.
No.
No way.
No. Next story.
Yeah, so Courtney Force, so excited to have this on a women's racing. I love it. Broke 2 funny car track records in Arizona. She broke both ends of the funny car track record. Stop it. Record Saturday in NHRA Arizona Nationals at Wild Horse Pass. Motorsports Park. Force topped qualifying at a 3.826 run.
That's
Second run.
3.82 seconds
6.
in the quarter mile. Holy cow.
That is so crazy. At 335.98 miles an hour on our second pass on the day.
So she is now the quickest and fastest.
That's freaking
And that's not for females.
No, that's just
everybody.
period.
Anyone.
That's just
So
period.
Prom night, Chris. Prom night.
Sorry.
so
Cheek
excited.
poke gets exciting sometimes.
So excited
Got it,
to
thank
see
you.
a woman do this anyway. No, that's not even the point of
absolutely.
the story, but fantastic.
Oh, no, she rocked it. Now,
Love it.
some recent racing results. Now, Bill Strong's here at SEMA, but Champ Car was back on the West Coast at the Auto Club Speedway running the Roval. They ended up with 26 cars, 4 BMWs. Boring. 8 Miatas,
cars.
still no Hondas.
It's an
a P car.
HPE3 group. Okay,
It is.
good.
No Hondas, 1 P car, and an 88 Fiero. Now, this is actually really, really cool.
Hey, I like that Fiero guy.
You should, because on Saturday it won. Not only did it win, it won. It was in Class B, which is their mid-pack class. It set the fastest lap, and it won definitively by 5 laps. So Door Slammers won. Number 2 was also Door Slammers in their Miata, and then 3 was Zoom Zoom Kaboom and Miata.
Wow.
Wait a second. I'm not sure everyone heard that.
What?
A Fiero, a Pontiac Fiero,
A Pontiac Fiero.
won overall.
No, one overall on
at
Saturday.
A Champ Car event.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it was
So,
26 cars, but I don't want to take it away from the Fiero.
a Fiero beat 26 cars.
Yeah.
And this is
That's
so
impressive.
So if Ike is listening to this, he's dancing around his garage right now. On Sunday, the winner again was the same Fiero, set an even faster lap with a 157, won by 4 laps on Sunday.
Wow.
Number 2 was the Pit Garage 93 Miata, and Zoom Zoom Kaboom came in
So
third.
they're going to retire now because there is no way.
they'll ever repeat
Wow.
that again.
Now
Like,
we've got some.
It's a mic drop. Done.
It's a mic drop. Boom. We're,
it.
that's it. We're done. We're put it in the museum. The
Please,
winningest
no one-
Fiero in Fiero history. Now, upcoming, we're going to be at MSR Houston. I'm going to be at that race. I'm running with Jerry Ringle.
24 Hours Lemons.
Absolutely, 24
Sorry,
hours 11.
that's
No,
what you didn't-
good catch
right,
because
you
it's
didn't
not in the news. They've got 102 cars, 9 BMWs.
Boring.
Wait, one of them is actually a 1970 1602.
Which?
Not boring.
Not boring.
No,
Nice
we
job.
didn't ask what that was.
Good job.
That's awesome.
Yeah. 10 Hondas, 10 Miatas, 6 Porsches, a 41 Oldsmobile, 2,
Excellent.
count them, 2 matching Dodge Darts. From host number 5, Eric Rude, Yokohama's going to have 2 cars from Nitro Circus entered, number 22, which is the West Coast, Miata that ran Thunderhell, and then the 199 El Camino, Dale be praised, that is supposed to be back, but they're not on the entry list yet. Number 4 is a Dodge Omni that a bunch of high school kids dug this thing
Love
up.
it.
Those pictures are on Facebook, and it looks like they dug it up.
Yeah.
That is a
awesome.
vomit
It's
yellow.
so
It is-
awesome.
And they made a video. This thing, to quote Eric, it is crusty as Air Force. Tony, and then Tony and Team Radicus are running that big Oldsmobile again, 403, and he's right. It is a fantastic car. So that's the racing that's coming up. I think it's time for some listener feedback.
I'm not really in on the hipster lingo, but crusty AF doesn't mean Air Force to me. Like, I don't know whether you've just
I got that from a buddy of mine. He's like, yeah, my daughter put on this shirt today that said cool AF, and he was like, yeah, the Air Force is cool. Yeah,
I don't think that's what it was.
To 12-year-olds, it's fine, right?
So, listener feedback time.
It's like a Richard Nixon.
I know. You know what it is? I can really.
I'm not a crook.
When we're all together, I can really hear the mic effects tremendously.
Well, you're the only one.
Is that good or bad, right? We're all listening to each other like normal, organically, like with your ears.
The producer.
I know.
Right?
So
the director, producer.
In case you missed it, we're at frickin' SEMA right now. Oh my God!
Not right now. Right now, we're in my dining room.
That's true.
We're 4 miles away.
There's not enough sluts for this to be seen.
They heard it.
All right,
That's
good.
right. Now later, we're also going to be in the hot tub. But yeah,
It's true. No,
So all you East Coasters, you just enjoy your snow.
So we have been posting like absolutely drunken sailors,
Like drunken
Chrissy and I,
teenage girls.
Yeah, we are posting like the Visco girls that we are on the Instas and the Facebooks. We really made a concerted effort. Before we started the show, we asked all of our followers to interact with our posts because, in case you haven't heard, we are here on frickin' press passes.
Yes.
We get in a half hour early.
We
like us at the booth.
Oh, yeah.
We show our badges. We're like, can I get
We
through?
have scammed the shit out of
Wait. We don't have to go through the metal detector.
No, we literally go through different doors and we show. I'm like, here.
I didn't know that.
Oh, my gosh.
God! I went through the metal detector.
No, we say like
But yeah.
here.
Well,
this
you just
like
wanted
no
the freedom fondle.
Yeah, fair enough.
So-
But like Vicky said that Chrissy's gone from Insta what to Insta. That's what's up.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
right, right.
So I just want to say thank you to all the people who are following us on social media.
Yeah, sure.
Because you have been interacting with us amazingly.
And this is
More than you normally want to.
Yes.
Or want to at all, but you're helping us.
We said, hey, we're at SEMA, and SEMA gave us press passes. Please interact, talk about the people we're talking about. We're going to be doing that for another probably 3 or 4 days because even though we're leaving tomorrow, we are backlogged with things to publish.
Yeah, we
So
keep taking a lot of
please
pictures
keep
and
interacting.
Yeah.
We're probably going to have a show or two. We're going to talk about that later. We can't talk about everything, but I need to talk about the Simca. We did a very controversial post. It was a Simca with a North Star swap.
Beautifully done.
What kind of Simca?
Who
Who the hell knows?
They didn't
It was a
know?
1960 Simca wagon thing.
It was a wagon thing.
Wait, but they didn't know? Did
No,
you
they
ask
didn't know.
them?
None of them even knew what a Simca was.
Wait,
no.
Until
The
it
old
showed up.
guys there were like, I don't even know what a Simca is.
No, right, they were like, when you asked about
And-
the car, they said no, they don't know.
No, they didn't know. And we said, well, it's a French Chrysler, and they went,
Oh.
uh-huh.
No way.
Yeah.
So Soggy, we
Totally.
did introduce him to Le Mopar.
Every single guy in there was about 975 years old.
They should know what the freaking Simca is
I
then.
know.
I know what
So
it.
anyway,
That's some
I know
kind
what
of
a Dodge
kind of
is.
Chevy.
everyone down here. So I just want to talk about the post. We posted it, and we learned how to do this voting thing on Instagram.
Yeah.
So it was a total 50-50 vote. Civic friend Roger B gave it like lukewarm. Workburger Aaron, Garage Heroes, they hated it.
Yeah, me too.
DC Doug said this should be Donnie's car. If you're still listening, not on Facebook. And the Florida man himself said F you and F the North Star.
Wow.
I don't want it.
Wow.
The only voice that matters in the world of Simcas, Senior Sagi, people were like, this is for you, buddy. And he said, please, I don't need another non-running Simca. So even he doesn't want a North Star.
You had
Simca.
better
So
expectations for this.
This goes
though?
to But Terrible, then.
Yeah, this is but terrible. Nobody
Wow.
likes it.
Okay.
Wow.
I thought
wow.
it was cool.
Me too. Well, I didn't think I
thought it was
voted.
different.
I voted down. But I'm
You know,
impressed that
you know who would have voted it up, though?
I voted it up.
You know who else
I
would
don't
have?
think
No,
so.
who voted it up?
And who should have?
Who should have?
Chrissy's mom.
I don't
Chrissy's
think so.
mom.
don't think so.
Chrissy's mom.
She is
upload
not
the
listening
Sitka.
live
Hello,
right now.
Chrissy's mom.
No,
Well,
but
she's apparently going to be looking for a new car awfully soon.
A
white.
Simca North Star?
No,
That's totally
no,
fine.
And no,
Yeah,
I don't.
that
I
does.
think
Not
she would have.
fine.
She would have not liked it.
All right. So apparently, like 6 of my Air Force buddies are now watching this on Facebook.
yeah.
So hey, all right, yeah, and I'm sorry, Dr. Ass, I'm never calling you Dizzy.
They think this show is good Air Force.
They're waiting. That's right, yeah. Oh man, yeah, this watch party's cool,
AF,
cool as
right?
Air Force.
Yeah.
So, folks, if you don't remember, SEMA, premier automotive specialty products trade event in the world, industry's brightest minds, hottest things, 1.2 million square feet. They're actually going to double that next year with an
That is
expansion onto the convention
crazy.
center.
It's crazy.
It's the $44.6 billion industry, over 4,200 automotive exhibitors, and 72,000 buyers are here over 4 days. And it is, as Jeff's typed in here, everything from hot rods, off-roads, mobile electronics, collision repair, you name it, it's there.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool, and the public can't get in.
And which is crazy because we've really seen a lot of the public. So we said the public can't get in, but we were trying to kind of identify the. I'm just chatting because
yeah.
people are
No, go
typing.
ahead.
So
I was commenting back to James McGuire.
Here's an amazing thing about the fact that the public can't get in. No one has stolen anything.
Yes.
All weekend.
love this idea. I really do.
Like everything has shift knobs still.
No. So this is
and
Jeff's idea completely.
Well, like we're out. Like I'm at the Willwood booth, and I'm just handling various calipers, looking at them,
And then
picking
you
them up,
put
like
it
I'm holding a
back.
caliper in my hand, and then I put it back. Yes, because I'm not a thug like thief, right?
This is Jeff's
But
idea.
I'm putting it together.
So I every year I go to the New York Auto Show,
And we go to Philly,
and
yeah.
By the third day, like the radios have no knobs, the spare tires are like bolted down, or they're gone. Like the shift knobs are all stolen.
Like the
At
ARP
SEMA,
bolt had the nuts still on the demo things.
There is
And everyone messed with them, and everyone put them back.
I handled 8
All right,
piston
Chrissy's
Willwood
got her
calipers
hand
today.
up. Chrissy's got her hand
So
up.
we're in the what do you call it? The truck. We're not Truck Nation, but we're in
Overland?
No, Overland. We're
Okay,
in
yeah.
Overland.
Overland World.
So we're listening. We're walking through a place that deals in coolers.
yes, coolers.
And you walk up to the coolers that plug into AC power, right?
Or DC.
DC AC power.
Right.
So you walk up to them.
They're for parking in the back of your truck for deers.
I mean, they
when you're
were
living in the desert
wonderful,
and
really
thinking
nice
you're on a
coolers.
grand
Real nice
adventure.
coolers.
Really
Yes.
nice coolers.
Fantastic
You
coolers.
open the cooler, and they have 2 different sides. You open one cooler, and it has eggs and bacon.
It had
and,
bacon in it.
and lettuce. Legit,
like
food.
real food,
Food.
and it's cold, and I could have stolen it. I could have walked out with a pound of bacon in my
So
pocket.
right, because you open the side of the cooler, and you're like, "Wow, this is really so cold." And you keep doing it. There's a couple of different coolers, and then I said at the New York Auto Show, they would have said like, "I'm stealing this
got
kale.
bacon."
I got kale." I'm like, "No, like who wants kale? They're like, I got this kale."
I didn't even know what to do with it,
gonna
but
try
I
and
stole
smoke
the
it.
kale.
There's so many things that would have been stolen at the general public.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's awesome. So we had a good time.
So I am going to say that yes, we are at SEMA. Yes, it is amazing. This is going to be more than one episode. We probably have 2, maybe 3 episodes.
This is going to take us to the end, because it's almost the end of the year now. We're
Absolutely,
comfortably into
absolutely.
November.
But today we're going to be talking today on the
Today on
podcast.
the podcast.
We're going to be talking about the overall feelings of the show, SEMA education highlights, our trip so far. I'm sure we're going to talk about some booths. I'm sure we're going to be talking about cars, but we have way more content than we have show today, so that's what we're going to do. Yeah. There it is. Who wants to start talking about the education
Yeah,
stuff?
so I'm going to start.
or the very first thing we saw, because I know you want to talk about the breakfast.
I mean, we'll talk about all the things.
Yeah. Talk about all things. Go.
I'm sorry, do you
Somebody
have
go.
something to say? No. Okay. Good. You do that.
You bet I don't.
Oh, I got a shaky dog. Hey, shaky dog. So the seminar,
The shaky dog.
mark it off on your bingo card if you're playing. So,
not helping me, Mocha.
right? So we started on yesterday morning, which was Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Seems like so long ago. We started out the new products breakfast. So we heard about some winners for the of different products, which is great. We heard from a keynote speaker, which was Jay Leno. He spoke well, quickly, and spoke of.
Funny, as we say.
No one can hear you. You're not out of your mic.
He was funny.
He was funny, as expected.
And he was also all about building American. That was all good. And the breakfast was freaking awesome.
Yeah, free
Nice.
breakfast.
Freaking
Free breakfast.
awesome. So that was great. And then yesterday was full of seminars. Some were better than others. I went to Instagram 2019, where I learned a lot of the Insta secrets, and I turned into an Insta star.
Insta, that's what's up.
Insta, that's what's up, right? So I went from a Insta hater to I know what's going on in Insta, which is great. If you're not following, if you're following on the Insta, you might have seen a whole lot. We're up. There's an uptick on what we're doing. There's a lot more of different information that's going up there. If you, I hope you like it.
On uptick, it went from an occasional burst of talking with Donnie about like throwing alligators in people's trunks to actually legit stuff.
Right.
So,
and then
difference.
we're using a lot of the things that
The
features, right?
I
The
mean,
things
who
that
knew that Insta could do that kind of stuff?
Right. So we're trying to practice it, and some of it is, and you'll see more of that. If you are not liking us on Insta and or Facebook, go to it right now. No. Stop it. Stop the show, pause it, or just open your app. Do it now. Follow us on both applications, because we're really going to try on both applications to do what we can do.
And we're doing stories now. We're doing a lot of stories. So hit the little story button,
especially
that's the hotness.
Especially on Insta.
Yeah.
So I also attended a Facebook. Three of us did Facebook. It was fine. Anything we didn't know, but we're now going to be encouraged on doing a little more research and figuring out what you guys liked the most, and capitalizing on that.
So while they were at the learn about Facebook and sitting on the ground, and because
while we were all acting like high school students,
Absolutely.
learning how to be high school students, high school as Air Force.
Yep. So I was at a forum, a discussion forum called Future of Racing and Technology, which is essentially a big panel discussion. And the panel that was talking was actually a super legit panel. It was essentially the...
I don't think anybody heard
Right. It was the head of the motorsports division of the 4 major manufacturers, and then one like epically good driver from each of them that they sponsor. So like the guy that runs Honda Performance Division, the guy that runs Ford's Global Motorsports Division, the guy that runs GM's Global Motorsports Division, the guy that runs Toyota Racing Development, all there, and each of them had a good driver, like the guy from Ford. Like they had the guy that just won the IndyCar championship was there. Toyota had their like drift championship guy. Honda had their their IndyCar champion, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But the panel was like
it was a super
people
legit
on
panel
it?
of 10 people, right? And hosted by a guy from SEMA. He was kind of the worst of the whole thing, as a guy from SEMA. But the rest of the people were a really legit panel of basically execs and top little drivers. And frankly, it was great to see how the guys who are running, which unfortunately it's all guys, but they
Temporarily.
those who were running,
It's coming, baby.
those who were running the whole show, it was great to see how they actually all were enthusiasts. You could tell. Actually, the guy who seemed to be the least enthusiast was the GM guy, which
Well, if you work for GM,
yeah, I guess. He was the most boardroom guy. But anyway, they all were definitely enthusiasts. It was all great to hear. They were all caring about how can they use their motorsports division to A, improve their products, and B, connect with fans. And they were actually, this is something we should talk about at some point in the future, even though NASCAR is dumb. NASCAR is having a whole bunch of changes for 2020, 21, and 22, including a whole new chassis, actually going to an independent rear end instead of
very nice.
like they were talking about,
Really?
like they were saying, yeah, current NASCARs are truck arms and live axles, and they said,
yes,
Yeah.
none of us use truck arms and live axles in our trucks.
they just went to carb, or they just finally got a fuel injection 2 years ago.
Right, exactly. So they're saying that there's a whole new chassis coming, and then actually the year after that it's hybrid. So like they're really pushing this thing. They said we have no idea how to make hybrid work in an oval, but we're gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's pushing the brand, it's pushing the limits, and that's good. So things like that. These guys all were enthusiasts and trying to figure out how to make this connect with people and make them improve their
I'm telling
products.
you, push
That's
the
nice.
button would help NASCAR so much.
So you went to this. It was an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You were hoping to find some information for our people, right? So you said it's racing. do you have anything you can pass along? Just one thing
Sure.
that you learned and you thought, or what they're saying. You don't have to not learn, but what did you hear from them?
The most important thing I heard that can pass along to our listeners who really we're on a completely different level than all these folks in the wrong way, but such as it is where we are, is that the only way you're going to win a race these days is by doing the 100 things you need to do right, doing them right. And that the person who's coming second only did 98 of those things right.
Interesting.
It's not like back in the 70s when somehow Richard Petty had like 100 horsepower over everybody else.
Yeah,
and he got to win, right?
Because Richard Petty understood aerodynamics in an era when no one else did.
Right. And Smokey Yunick figured out
Cheated.
like the weird bullshit.
Cheated. Let's be honest.
Absolutely. Right. But now, like, everyone is so good.
Yeah.
And that you have to win by doing every single detail right. There is nothing you can skimp on.
We know that.
It's all perfect.
Yeah. You and I talked about this. This relates to the type of racing that we do. This entry level amateur thing has gotten competitive. Like there's a whole thread on Champ Car that they're complaining that folks are showing up with double car stack trailers and mobile homes because this has gotten to be part of their life and this is what they're investing in. And we say this over and over again. Doing everything perfect in this series is just going to get you a lottery ticket because everybody else, it used to be, you get about 90% of it and you got kind of a fast car, you could win. No. And I mean, we're seeing that with, we could each name 6 teams right now that consistently do everything right and do not win.
Us.
I know. We're going to get there someday. Chrissy,
Get back to there someday.
I know you have the Brew Talks next in the notes, but I'd like to do the podcasting thing next and then go to Brew Talk because we were all there.
Yeah.
Sure. So Chris and I attended this section on podcasting. Sean P. Holman from the Truck Show, which is a Motor Trend. The Motor Trend's actually first podcast. So he talked about podcasting do's and don'ts. It was really great to hear from someone, I guess, a quote, professional in this. We got a lot of new ideas. We might be changing some equipment. We might be changing some segments up to make our show a little better. Totally inside baseball kind of stuff, but so you're going to hear some new sounds soon. Way to get your voice on the show. Yes, you might actually be able to hear Donnie's voice on the show.
Maybe next week.
Yeah. But like, I know it's a joke. He can bring his alligator. But we had some good hot tub time last night.
Yes.
Where we talked about the future of the show.
Yeah.
And we talked about some ways to make it a little more leaner, meaner, and to deliver better content.
And drank some delicious tequila.
There was some good tequila going on.
Great
So
tequila.
I'm going to say you might be noticing some changes in the podcast in the future, but it will just make us better. The most important thing you can do is give us some feedback. All right? We are going to be talking about the future of the show. If you like something, you want to hear more of something, you want to hear less of something, you think something is important, please tell us. Facebook is probably pretty good.
Call our Google voice number, leave a voicemail.
We're not going to broadcast that yet. But coming soon, everyone. So Facebook, let us know.
Email us.
Or email us, or Insta us, or whatever.
And I would say we're going to be a lot more responsive than we have. But one of the things was when we first started the show, we had a hard time limit. We would really cut it at less than an hour. And part of the feedback we got was, no, we don't care. Especially folks that, every Thursday morning, this is how they, drive to work, or when Bill Fisher's on a road trip and he's trying to get his fix. So, sorry, I was distracted there for a second. And so we decided, screw the time limit. We just do what we want to do. So that was your feedback, which made us happier. And so that's a prime example of what we're doing.
In general, I would say that we stumbled onto a lot of the right things to do with the podcast.
Oh, none of it was by choice.
Exactly.
Well, shit, we screwed that up.
I can't get mental to shut up. How am I going to do the show an hour?
Twinkies!
But I'll say there is improvement, and we're going to improve.
That's all we're going to do.
Hey, if you learn by making mistakes, well, there's no way we can't be learning. That's for sure.
But we're open to it. That's half the battle. So, okay, we're done. So we ended the day at Brew Talks. We were all really excited about Brew Talks.
Mostly because we thought there'd be free beer, but turns out
not free.
It was $9 a piece.
But if
there were 2 free beers. Yeah.
So we ran to the front. And they were like, "Who wants a free beer?" And Mental and I were like, "Hell yeah!" So we ran.
Chrissy tackled 2 people.
I did not. Right?
For
and he was
free
like,
beer.
he's like, "Do this," and I was like, "Fine." Right? Okay. So
no one can hear Chris.
no, it's fine. So he's hurt, so he can't run. So anyway, so we this is a brew talk. We signed up for both of them. We thought it would be fun to hear. So Sean Holman from Truck, the Truck Show,
same guy. Sean, I just told you.
right? Sorry, the Truck Show. Led the panel discussion with Jim
Lau, yeah.
who is the president and co-founder of Formula Drift. Thank you for filling that in. Aaron Kaufman, TV personality and the owner of ArcLight Fabrication. And then Brittany Williams, who we did a little bit more research because she's fantastic and a woman. YouTube influencer at Lightbright Studios, and she's a competitor on a recent Netflix Hyperdrive.
Hyperdrive, we talked about it.
Right?
Oh,
I know.
yeah. Jeff loves him some hyperdrive.
So,
I do. I did like this.
we were really happy at the end of the day to sit with the beers were cold and wet, which is awesome. We had to and sit in chairs. It was great.
Yeah, we did get chairs.
It was we had to pay for them, which was a little more expensive. We won some. It was great.
They were expensive as Air Force.
Sure. Yes, right. But we were happy to sit, and it was great. They had a really good. It was a good conversation. They were. Sean was really good at a moderator. And we
his knowledge of interviewing from the podcast, I think, really stepped up.
Yeah.
And he made it a good discussion. And it was supposed to be an hour. It ended up going an hour and a half because there was a lot to talk about. They invited on his questions, and they did a nice job of making it an informative, interesting discussion.
They really had good, different points of view, which is great, and they were good. It was a good panel.
And I thought they were all just legitimate and honest, and they were putting themselves out there. There was a moment there when Aaron got a little kind of choked up because he was talking about Jesse, and it was just but they were all just out there being raw and honest and talking about their failures.
Jesse Combs, that is.
Yeah, Jesse Combs. They were talking about their failures and everything they did wrong. And Brittany, when she talked about, she said, I had a good job. I was doing what I wanted to do. And well, she said I was doing a good job, but I hated my life, so I quit and moved to Colorado and bought a Jeep. That's just gutsy, and I just enjoyed the refreshing how they all say that they learned more from their mistakes than they did from getting it right.
I should mention that oval racer extraordinaire and youngest member of the Rutt family, Neil Rutt the third, has joined us on the Facebooks.
No,
Hey.
Nice.
So, I'm going to say I was impressed by hearing Aaron Kaufman talk.
Yeah, he's a passionate guy.
I think he needs to say
goodness.
he needs to say 2/3 of the words he says. But
sure.
the words he says, though, no, he is a smart, dedicated, talented, driven individual. Don't let the beard fool you. Don't let the TV persona fool you, because him beyond the TV persona is much more impressive than it would believe. Yes, he's a good fabricator. He's a good talent. He's a talented, mechanic,
builder. Yeah,
but he is way smarter and way more interesting. And I would love to have a half dozen beers with that guy.
No kidding.
No doubt.
He needs, though, as you said,
prom night.
Not ice cream.
sorry.
Prom night.
Sorry. He needed
The Facebook people are going to love the prom night conversation.
he needed 1/3 less.
People listening on
less
the
words.
Yeah.
Yes.
1/3 less words, and Aaron would be perfect.
But
it was
passionate
great to hear
AF.
him.
I have to say that somebody brought up electric vehicles, electric racing. It was like slowly I turned for the Three Stooges. He went off.
Yes.
He said the electric car. He basically thinks electric cars are the worst things ever. They're not environmentally sound, which he's not wrong about. But there are some. He was like triggered. Hashtag triggered.
Oh yeah,
Right?
They should have had a trigger warning for Aaron.
Yeah.
No, but we had the same conversation in the panel discussion about racing and technology, and that the 3 pro drivers there, or the 4 pro drivers, we're like. We're not really into the AI stuff.
Wow.
Like electric stuff, sure, we'll figure it out. But we don't really like the AI stuff. Like maybe for warm up laps, but we're not really fans of that. And the all execs would go,
Oh, no.
except the guy from Honda, he just stayed quiet, which. Honda's the little guy in the room. They're like, "Hey, we've sold 6,000 crate motors," and the guy from Ford is like, "That was Tuesday." Oh well.
So by AI, did they mean like self-driving stuff, or did they mean like
they meant self-driving stuff,
like driver aids?
No, they meant self-driving stuff
Okay.
because no one really wants to see the computers racing against the computers.
No.
That's
No.
not fun,
No.
right? But if it's helping the cars go faster, but the drivers are still doing the work, that's interesting still. But the drivers were still like, no, don't take it.
Yes.
They're coming to take our jobs.
My jobs. The robots took my jobs.
A robot will never be able to thank 37 sponsors in
No,
Victory
the
Lane.
robot will be able to.
It can't wear all the hats. No, but they were all super. It was interesting to hear the difference in the juxtaposition of the drivers' positions on technology on driving and technology in cars versus the exec's position on the same thing, because they're thinking about where it's coming from the consumer standpoint.
Yes.
Got it.
But they also the execs got it, but it's still different.
Yeah.
So.
So
I'd really appreciate it if my driver would just stay on message.
Yeah. We're going to go a little bit out of order here because somehow our notes started with your favorite booth, but I really want to do the overall thoughts.
Jeff, no one knows what order we're in, so
I'm
just
saying,
roll with
I'm
it.
telling
Roll
you.
with it.
I'm
Roll
telling
it.
all of you. I'm signaling the podcast people. We are moving on to overall thoughts on SEMA. There's a vibe here. It's a giant trade show. Who wants to go first? Overall thoughts on SEMA. Mental.
So I've only gotten to do the one day, the one pre-day and the day. What I really enjoyed about it, and I think this goes back to your conversation about no one has stolen the knobs or the bolts or the brake calipers. It is an entire group of people that just respect and love this hobby. Across the board, and Grid Life, incidentally, is there. It reminds me of Grid Life, where they're just bringing all these different factions together. Chris and I were talking. Yeah, it was over by the Overlanders.
No, it's far.
Yeah, the Grid Life.
Somehow we haven't found the Grid Life booth yet.
They're in the
morning,
far corner of the new product showcase.
That's a priority. We got to find Grid
Yeah, we
Life.
didn't hit the new product showcase at all.
Well,
So,
no,
yes.
if you went to Overland, you did. That big
No.
tent.
No,
No,
Nope.
but
Oh, you haven't been to the
we need
okay.
a tent. No.
Anyway,
So-
now
so again,
just
priority
be
for tomorrow.
forewarned. Be forewarned.
'Cause I gotta
They
meet
got-
Adam.
Yeah, they got tickets last year, like citations from SEMA, because they won't man their booth because they wander around and look at stuff like the rest of them. Oh my god, this is so cool.
So these are our people. then.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it reminds me, and people, the whole thing, and this is the message over and over. Oh, kids aren't interested in cars. Yeah, they are. Kids are interested in cars. Ladies are interested in cars. Old people are interested in cars. Young people are interested in cars. Everybody's interested in cars, and there is a ton of them here. So it was like thinking you were one of a kind and then finding your tribe of people. That was my thoughts about. That was the overall vibe of SEMA. Is, oh my God, there's an entire world that I didn't know existed.
Yeah. I don't think there is a way for us to convey how big SEMA is. How
Here's
many
how I can
booths,
convey it. No,
How many
I
people?
got something.
Okay.
When we go for the lift ride to get home at 4:00, it's $12. When we go for the lift ride to get home at 5:30, it's $42. That's how you
surge.
tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
There's a search.
4.5 miles, by the way, from my house
right.
to the Las Vegas Convention Center.
From what I've heard, there's 150,000 people at SEMA in the convention center. And I believe it because everywhere we go, you're either with the stream, swimming with salmon, or you're against the stream.
salmon,
You're the
yeah.
bear,
Yeah.
and it's
Yep.
terrible.
But
And on a
also-
side note, if you ever want to see Chrissy lose her ever-loving mind, be in an entire crowd of people that's all moving in the same direction, and then just stop. Just stop and stop, look at your phone or look at your watch.
that's me. It's usually me.
No, mental. It's also called My Mother.
I do not like this. I do.
So-
I don't.
so-
I've told him so many times.
So
We,
Jeff.
we haul Jeff to the side of things sometimes. but-
So
I
I
help
freely
you?
admit that I am just completely distracted. This is the extroverts like dream. Like there are all these people standing around waiting to talk to you.
And there's so many shiny things. There's so many shiny things.
So
really
many
needs to
shiny
talk to
things.
everyone.
And I
This
am,
is Jeff's retirement job.
I am agnostic. I do not care what your brand is.
Oh my
I don't
God.
care if you're a big company or a little company.
Oh my God.
If you talk cars, I will talk to you until you
that's
frickin'
literally-
pass
But
out.
that's an interesting thing, though, is that
Jeff talked to the
Jeff talks to the
wall.
wall.
Jeff
No.
talks to the wall.
no, but actually, but legitimately though, if you are a well-rounded automotive person of any shape or form, like if unless you're really focused on one thing, you could talk to 75% of the booths here about something,
yes.
no matter what.
Absolutely.
There's something you can talk about, but within 1 minute, you can tell if they're interested in talking to you.
Yeah. It's good. It's a great point. Great point.
So we have had a number of these discussions where we talk to somebody, even if we're passionate about their products, like we use their products, we're customers, and we tell, like, you know what? They're like, yeah, I don't really care.
Now, people who weren't like that, let's because we're going to talk about our favorite booths, and several of these guys.
Oh, we got lots of those.
Yeah.
What I loved is we come up and say, well, hey, we're amateur entry level endurance racers. And they go, oh, I race a whatever in whatever series, and then we would say, do you know so and so? Yeah, absolutely.
We also heard a number of people come out of their shell to admit they race lemons.
It's true. It's true.
And then it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, now we're friends.
It's
now
interesting.
We're friends.
Like they have either never heard of amateur endurance racing. It's not like they've heard of lemons and they haven't heard of Champ, or they heard of lemons and they don't care. It's like, if I've heard about it, I'm quite interested. If I haven't heard about it, I don't get it. So plenty of the people we've talked to were like, oh, like Champ, that's awesome, or lemons, or blah, 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 blah. Or they say, very frequently, me and the boys all have a team,
Yeah.
Right,
blah, blah,
right.
blah, blah,
When
blah.
they say, oh, yeah, no, we run lemons, and we say, oh, well, we're actually 3-pedal mafia. They're like, oh, okay. Hey,
Yeah.
oh, no, good.
Yeah.
It was the first one was it the Hawk break booth?
We were at Hawk, yeah.
Power Stop.
Yeah, Hawk
We
break.
were
Stop
at
was the
Power
first one.
Stop. We were at
Power
Hawk.
Stop was the first
I
one.
No,
talked
I'm
to a
sorry.
lot
No,
of
it
great
was the
people.
Power Stop booth, and said, well, we run a Civic, and the guy goes, oh, and he just off the top of his head goes, I presume you're running the exact brake setup that we're running on the Civic, which is not, if you don't know.
He said ITR calipers.
And Mini
Mini
Cooper
rotors.
Mini Cooper rotors. They were
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And I said,
yeah.
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 It took me a minute to figure out what ITR was. I was like, ITR. Oh, yeah, Integra. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And then he goes, which by
Chris,
the way,
Chris.
it's the same thing as the MDX and the
Chris,
same thing as the Odyssey.
what brakes are we running? yeah, those.
This happens a lot, though.
And then we went over to the Hawk booth, and he knew Jack Baruth, John Shevel, the Bosey, and Charlie
And
Baruth.
various other name-dropping people.
Oh yeah, no. Well, it's just, he's like, oh,
This is the part of the show where Mental drops a name.
he says,
should put that
oh,
on the bingo
I've
card.
run with. Well, the
Gabby
thing is,
the goat. Hey, Gabby. Give
he says, I've run with AutoWorks Motorsports. I said, Big Red, Dan Sykes. He's like, yes, oh god.
Yeah, Dan Sykes has been commenting a lot on our Facebooks and Instas.
Yes.
Been very much good.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. I just want to say that the view, it's huge. Our feet hurt. The amount of walking. We have not scratched the surface. But I want to tell you, overland trucks and the overland movement, I don't know. Were there more Supras or overland trucks?
Overland trucks. But before we get that, I got to say,
Okay, go on.
right the day we were leaving, I threw my back out, getting out of bed. I have been eating Advil like Skittles the entire time
true.
we're here.
I'm sorry. You're younger than
Yeah,
two of.
yeah. I am
The
the
three of
the
us.
third youngest on this podcast, and I'm usually in I am usually the
Yeah.
like 1.5 best shape. Like Chrissy and Mental and I'll fight for who's in better shape, and it all depends on our age. And
Really?
Mental likes
It's
to say,
It's been, I'm usually pretty
like I
close.
said,
No, it's me, everybody.
Not actually.
Yes.
so it's
Donnie,
always
you're my people.
No. Donnie's coming to our tribe. Donnie's man. Donnie's doing it.
It's always
Donnie's
a
making it
three-way.
happen.
It's always a three-way, really terrible race for who's in best shape. But
Yeah.
I am a gimp.
You're a
You've been
you're a
hobbling.
skeleton.
Oh, yeah.
You are a.
What's that I call you? Gimpy
Well, it's Gippy
Gumperton.
McGimperson.
Gimperson.
And then it became Gippy McGimperstein. I became Jewish. So then I said, oh, yeah, my bad. So,
Yeah.
Why are we?
This was particularly hilarious
Hey.
because last night, instead of taking an Uber, the patient and loving Vicky came and picked us up, but traffic was crazy. So she's just driving by the hotel and gets caught in traffic. We're like, unlock the doors, unlock the doors. And we all go sprinting into traffic, throw our bags in the back of the car, and he's trying to run.
Oh, he ran.
Yeah, he
I ran.
You ran.
that's why
And then
today started
you're
worse than
struggling.
yesterday. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Well, so let me go back. So the floor is filled with stuff. Every booth has a car. Sometimes they know about the car. Sometimes they don't know about the cars.
No one can understand how big this
It's
is.
huge.
Like, imagine
There's so
every convention
many-
center you've ever been
Yeah.
in together.
I would think it's almost the size of your neighborhood.
Nobody
It's
knows
probably
the
bigger.
neighborhood.
No one knows our neighborhood, but
Yeah.
like yes, I've been in like the Philadelphia Expo Center and
It's
the Boston
5
one
times
too.
as large.
And it's like put Philadelphia one next to Boston's one, next to like
Next to New York, next
Or-
to Javits
or is it
Center.
just
and then here
like
we
every-
are. Right.
Yeah.
But
And then close the parking lots
Yeah.
and send people out there to the hoonigans to go out there and go drift and,
Right.
and do
So-
burnouts and
this
all
is,
day.
all day.
This is the interior space is 3 to 4 times as large as the New York Auto Show,
yeah,
and
it's Vegas. We do
and
conventions
the
here.
outside space is almost another
same-
whole
it's the same
size.
thing.
it's like a football stadium parking lot, like a big city football stadium parking lot, all blocked off. Like
Yeah.
no one's parking
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But that's one part.
That's one
of
building.
it.
Yeah.
We have barely scratched the surface. That's why I said there's a ton of stuff here. But I got to tell you, you can't sneeze at this place without a piece of snot hitting a frickin' Supra with big giant
No,
wheels.
or a Jeep Gladiator.
A Jeep Gladiator or an
So many
overland truck.
Supras.
It's mostly Jeep Gladiators. That's the hot car.
The hot cars.
And if
yeah.
Toyota hadn't brought 30 Supras on their own, there'd only be
3,000.
60 Supras here.
Yeah. No, there's a lot
Of the
Every-
of the
all the
120
places.
that have been built,
But
Yeah.
90
Right.
of them are here.
Right, exactly.
But-
But,
right,
but there's
right.
2,000
But we have seen-
Jeep Gladiators here.
But we have seen overland trucks built out of everything. We saw lots of Toyotas, lots of the normal Fords and things. The frickin' city car. What was that? The
The
Honda.
Honda Acti.
what? Yes.
It was a Honda Acti. Had a rooftop tent on the bed.
Yeah.
That is
rack of the
fantastic.
Honda Acti.
And,
Right.
and the only
Which
way,
is right behind the Land Rover Defender 110. Or actually, it was Defender 130.
130 was the big
Yeah,
one. It was
yeah.
the big one. But we saw an MRAP, the military
Yeah,
MRAP.
yeah.
And
That
then we-
was overland.
But then we saw what's that full tool truck that if your penis is way too small, it's an F550 with an armor plating on
Oh!
it. That,
Yes.
I know.
or if you're
Mental,
a Russian,
of course, you know the answer. To
or
that.
if you're a Russian drug lord.
Yes,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It
No.
may or may not have a whale penis interior, but
yeah.
you know what I mean. It's there's the truck. There's no point to own
You're
anywhere.
Googling
But you're
now.
not cool if you don't have a tent on your roof. And you're more
Or
cool
Overland.
38s.
or you're more cool if not only do you have 38s and a tent on your roof, but your car is older than 1960. A lot of old Broncos, a lot of old trucks with the overland stuff on it.
I believe you were talking about either the F550 Bat APX or the Rhino GX.
I think it was the Rhino.
Both are bullshit.
Both. Whatever it is. So the hottest car in the world of automotive news right now is the C8. And how many Corvette C8s did we see?
3.
3? I thought it was 2.
I
They had
thought it was more than-
no. They had the Chevrolet had 2. They had the red coupe
Okay.
and the blue convertible.
Right.
And then we saw the
Other one and
whitish
the
whitish
one,
one,
and
yeah.
the other
the
one.
country club.
Yeah. Mountain. There's a country club track around
Spring Mountain.
Spring Mountain.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
over
Pahrump.
in Pahrump.
Pahrump.
That was the
Yeah.
one that after they booked Lemons, their members came to them and said, "Can we race this Lemons things because we're members?" And then they
No.
finally got on the website, looked at it, and went, "Ooh,
Like,
no, no," and canceled them back in 2000.
absolutely.
Back in 2008, it was hysterical. But the you guys are talking about, all of the Corvettes were here for Barrett Jackson because they were like 7 of them at Barrett Jackson.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy at the GM booth near the, I think it was a T-top. I didn't think it was a convertible, the red one.
No, the red one was the coupe.
Okay, the coupe.
But the
yes.
coupe is a Targa.
Yeah, had the Targa
convertible
top on.
has a slightly larger Targa top.
So
that's the difference.
So there was a guy who.
But you made a friend because everywhere we go, Jeff makes friends. Doesn't matter what it is.
So a guy put his hand on the rear halo, and he leaned in to like look at the interior. And you had to fight through like 20 people to get close to the Corvette. He did one of these. He like leaned in, and there was a GM guy there right now going. He went, "Excuse me, can you take your hand off the car?" Like they were like legit. Like I'm telling you, I opened the door of 1,000 cars. Like every
the
car
one-off
again,
Simca with a North Star, they're letting us basically dry hump it. But GM's all upset about the Corvette.
This is SEMA. This is not a public show, so all the doors are open on everything. You can do anything you want to these cars.
I handled 15 Willwood calipers today. And
no one handled them already.
Oh, yeah. And no one had stolen anything.
Right.
Everywhere there's valuable parts, but yet if you lick one GM car, then you are
No, they didn't care about the rest. The Corvette is where it was.
So all right, so
you fuck one Corvette, you are a fucker. No.
Exactly.
But so we're talking about the booths. We're getting distracted on this one. We're into this one. So let's talk about those booths that we were excited about that like generally gave us a good show.
I want to go first. So we get here to SEMA, and I have got to say that like Chris is right. Chris is like laser focused. He's like, I am an entrepreneur. I am laser focused. I am going to talk to the people that I must talk to.
I have 4 booths. I must go to Momo.
Yes.
I must go to
there
Honda.
Are 4 booths.
And I must go to Honda. Coney.
Yes. I have a shock that is leaking. I need to get them to repair it. And I'm like just saying, let's talk to everybody, right? So I'm just walking past Safety Clean, right? Safety Clean with a K. And I'm like, hey, Safety Clean. I know you guys. Love your stuff.
Chrissy got all excited because she loves safety and she loves clean.
And it loves clean. So I said, oh, yeah. Love your parts washers. Always wanted a parts washer. Never had one. So he says, hey, come on. He basically, there was like 5 old guys in there, right?
It was early on the first day.
Early on the first day. And I walked in and they're like, oh, you like cleaning? Do you clean things? And I'm like,
he's like, we're dirty. Air
Force. Dirty Air Force.
So I said, I really got to say how this goes down. And I know I'm going to burn a little pot on this, but I need to because they were so nice to us. So they're like, well, what do you clean? I'm like, oh, we're lemons racers. We're really dirty. And it was like verbal like Tourette's. I was like, Safety Clean. I love you guys.
I'm dirty.
Yeah, we're dirty. And so he starts. Some guy goes, oh, lemons. What's that? I said, oh, it's racing. We're a racing podcast. Oh, you got to talk to the racing guy. So he points me over to the racing guy, and he's talking to someone. So it takes like a moment, and he says, where are you from? Oh, New Jersey. We're from New Jersey. The racing guy comes over.
And that's how they enunciated it.
Exactly.
He's from New Jersey, too.
He's from New Jersey,
everyone from New Jersey is dirty.
Well, that is delightful, for I am also from the state of New Jersey.
Yeah. No,
I find this fascinating. This is how people from New Jersey converse.
So he comes over. Yeah, no. Jersey's like this. So anyway,
Oh, no way.
So the racing guy comes over and he says, oh, you've been to New Jersey Motorsports. He knows what lemons is. You're in a podcast. That's great. The other guy comes over who's from New Jersey and who has been to New Jersey Motorsports Park, comes over and says, get a business card from him and send him a 30.
1630.
No, a 30.
Okay,
he said a 30.
Okay.
So he's like, oh, yeah, uh-huh. So he says, you got a business card? Write down your address. I'm sending you a parts washer. And I went,
so what we're telling you is next week, Everyone Races will be brought to you by Safety Clean.
Safety Clean.
Oh, yeah.
So as soon as it arrives, we'll be doing we'll talk about it.
Here's the hard part. Is we're trying to figure out where it's going to go because at Jeff's house, everything is dirty, but there's no room. At our house, there's limited room, but the problem is if it's at our house, every single
clean.
freaking part is going to get washed before it goes back in the car.
Yeah.
And they're all going to be stupid sick of me. I said, did you wash that?
Did
you wash it?
So, folks, if you're interacting with us on the social media, we're going to put up a poll. Where should the parts washer go? Should it go to Jeff's, where everything is dirty, or should it go to Chris's and Chrissy's, where they're going to fuss at everybody like they do every time I throw my can in the trash and not the recycling?
But we're but we're not even done the story yet. So he says send him a 30, which we later find out is a 30-gallon drum parts washer because I had to Google it.
Glorious.
It's glorious.
It's glorious.
It's like no. So then
I'm going to clean all of the things.
So then
You are.
So
No,
then
I
wait.
I'm
So
going
then,
to demand y'all clean all the things.
so then another
I hope
guy
it gets
comes
there before
by.
the lifters go in the Mercedes.
Guys, everyone, we're not done yet.
No, I got
Nice.
32 new lifters for it, so it doesn't matter.
So another person comes over and he says, you rent on your own cars? That's great. Why don't we set them up with a whole care package? And they're like, Fred, add a care package to this. So do you use hand cleaning wipes?
Which
We're gonna
actually
send
we
you a
do.
bunch of this.
Yes.
So,
We do now.
No, here's the thing, is I've actually kept Safety Clean hand cleaning wipes, and they are it's like the lava soap at New Hampshire in a really tough paper towel.
We're getting them to
I
our
love it.
house.
So
Yes.
so we are going to be soon sponsored by Safety
Oh,
Clean.
you're darn skippy.
Because they were great.
And they didn't
Same
ask
reason.
about it, but
The
they're
same
a
reason we
football.
love Lucky Dog.
But here's the problem. That set up totally unrealistic expectations. The very first people who
I like
interacted
Hondas.
with me.
Why are you not giving me a Honda?
gave me the part.
Hold on.
James McGuire is saying, hey, you know what? Why don't you host some parts washing at future races? That's a great idea, James.
This looks brilliant. We're
yeah.
absolutely doing that.
It's the parts washing station brought to you by Three Pedal Mafia and Safety Clean.
Safety Clean.
Yes,
Thank
that
you.
is
Oh,
great
my
idea.
gosh.
That's
And
going to
they were
happen.
So they're great people. They really, really were awesome. We talked to all of them.
Make your stuff slightly cleaner than ours.
That's also a great penalty.
Great idea.
Is Jeff just picks random shit out of his garage, brings it to the race, and when they have to park you, you've got to clean all of the shit
Clean
out
my
of Jeff's garage.
My parts.
Craigers is taking notes right now.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
Safety Clean.
So it's funny.
Awesome
so I
sauce.
actually went into every booth that was there and was hoping to get something free. And the free stuff has not fallen from manna from the sky. But I've gotten some tidbits. I've gotten some tidbits. I've gotten some discounts.
We got
Lots of
coupon
stuff.
codes.
I
We got
did
discounts.
not
We got all
mean
kinds
to
of
do
stuff.
this. I have asked for nothing. The only things I've really grabbed are stickers because I have a new toolbox. I need stickers.
And
You can
there are
never have
people
too many
that ask
stickers.
for them.
People asked us to bring
We
them
do it.
stickers.
We did
or
it.
stickers.
And Mendo's going to have to sticker up something someday.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I taught high school, so yeah. You guys have seen the rear hatch of the Volvo. I
But
sticker bomb
you
shit.
best not sticker the damn Mercedes.
No.
All right, so we know what
Got a
was
Toyota for
my
that.
favorite booth. I think we should refocus the show. Everyone talk about a booth they talked to. What did they like? Why did they like it?
And I want to go last because it does kind of tie back
Good.
into the thing. But Chris,
I'm going to start off.
Okay,
We've been wandering the booth looking actually for things that we need and we found useful.
you were. I was talking to every swinging. Never mind. Go
Sure.
on.
That's true. Sorry.
Pakistani parts. I love Pakistan.
This is well, no. This is after Jeff found every Asian tire manufacturer you've never heard of.
I was in so
It's
many
amazing.
Asian tire
We
manufacturers.
never knew that things like a double coin and like I can't even go
like
on.
Ling Long we've
Ling
heard
Long
of,
we've heard of, but
there were so many
literally
tire manufacturers you never. You didn't even talk about the
Triangle,
crazy.
Pentagon, like, name a shape.
Yeah,
they had
yeah,
a
yeah,
tire,
yeah.
right? Right.
But we
But
didn't
anyway.
even talk about the wheels. the
Oh, no,
crazy
no.
wheels. Go on.
So I'm gonna
talk
say-
about what you liked. We'll talk about the weird
I'm
stuff
a big
in a minute.
fan of FI Tech because, frankly, we've got an LS swap coming up because we've got a local place that'll sell us an LS for $200 out of a
Hell
tire.
yeah.
And
Hell
we have
yeah.
not figured out that whatever
So-
that Champ Car beauty of those VQ guys.
Right,
we can't
exactly.
Make that happen.
We can't make the Nissan V6s work because F them. But the LS swaps are $200, and we're going to figure out how to make that run. But the guys at FI Tech, this is one of the ones I was leaning toward as something we needed to do to make it run. We talked to Dominic at FI Tech. Mm-hmm. Dominic was great. Dominic helped us.
Dominic
decide,
was great.
Right.
He was a great agent.
He decided what is the best budget solution to get the thing running in our weird motor swapped car.
Yeah.
And we talked to him through it, and it's like occasionally we get stuff that someone returns and it's blemished and stuff like so we can work with you on things like that. So like call us. We'll talk through it, but you just order it online. Like call us and we'll help you out. Because we want to get everybody to get this stuff running because it makes sense. It's easy to do. It's not hard, and we'll help you. We want to educate you and do it.
Those guys, a lot of those guys,
yeah,
they lived that product. They're like, oh, I've done these swaps on these many vehicles.
Yeah. So Dominic was great at FI Tech, and we're going to talk to him later.
The one thing is that's great is that I think a lot of the booths we saw today. No,
Jeff's trying to take a selfie.
So a lot
talking.
of the booths that we saw, they're really interested in education. Education, right? So they're really interested in how can we teach you more about anything that they know about.
And like I say, Honda was the best at that. Though.
I mean, I know, but
we'll talk about them at another show.
I agreed.
Because was it Doug? What was the guy's name? I think it was Doug. Is it Honda? Doug.
Doug from Honda.
Doug from Honda was amazing, and I'm really excited to have him on the show because he said he was interested in being here, and we would love to have him.
Yes,
because he was all about education. He was one of the co-founders of Honda. And he just walked us through, like we were talking about Civic Type R stuff, because Chrissy and I have been looking at Civic Type R, and he just walked us through the various things they potentially can do to a Civic Type R, and how it works, and how their traction control system works, and how everything works. And he just wants to educate people because he finds value in that and passion.
I think there's a lot of people we talked to who were interested in educating us what they had to offer, and to be able to do that.
But that's the difference between going to this kind of show and like the New York Auto Show,
where it's like,
agree. Oh, yo, Civic Type R, yo. Man, that's hot.
Yeah.
But all of the cars.
Sure, absolutely. But first when we say like, oh yeah, we're running a K24 and a Civic EF, and here's what we're doing, and blah 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 blah. And once he realizes that we can speak the language, he's super excited to teach us about the things that he knows that we don't know.
Yeah,
I think they fell that whole SEMA vibe. They've got there are hundreds of high school students here in various competitions and in internships and everything like that, and they are all about that next generation.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot. I saw we were trying to identify. We have media passes are green, and there's different like levels of different colors of people.
Right.
And there were a bunch of students. I saw a lot of them.
Yes, there are different colors of people all over the nation.
What she's talking about is that's how the security guards identify you on that one. Now, Chrissy, you've got an interesting point on this one because we were talking about this.
So my thing that I got out of today was the sim racing. So I have been asking between me and you, Mantle, because everybody else is gone. I have been asking for sim racing because in my practice of trying to get better at racing, I have made myself a plan, and sim racing was one of them because I said I think we should have this, and I saw so much sim racing today. Really, we did, and I was really impressed I was not impressed with the driving. Really impressed with the.
We should say that the sim racing was also another place to pimp the new Supra. Because it was sponsored by Toyota, and there were Supras everywhere.
There was so much sim racing.
There was a lot of sim racing.
So it wasn't just...
Grid Life is doing an event tomorrow night, too. They're having an actual throwdown over at the Luxor.
But there were plenty of... There were sim racing in drag racing.
Mm-hmm.
There was sim racing in a track that is made up, which I was really impressed with. So I guess it was Supra. I think Supra had... Their racing was on a track they made up. It was not like, let me drive Lime Rock, let me drive Road Atlanta, or I was like, what track is this? Oh, they made up a track, which is interesting because that makes you so you're not any better.
Now, did they make the track, or did BMW make the track, and then Toyota just kind of like put a new skin
it was
on
not
it?
A track that
I made. Ha! Funny Supra joke.
Right,
Mr. My hair is cool.
My hair is cool. My hair is Air Force. So, what else is it? You were talking about the media center.
Oh, I love the media center. This is my other so at some
they had fresh baked cookies.
So at some
we
point,
keep forgetting that this is we're doing this live, so we're sitting around my dining room table, and we keep forgetting that we have to pick up a microphone.
They were not nearly as good as Chrissy's mom's cookies, but
nothing is as good as
hot
Chrissy's
gooey
mom's
cookie.
Right. So the thing at some point we were entering into the the central hall, and we said, Chris's back's bad, so we said, okay, where are we going? What are we doing? And we said, let's go to the media center because we know that they're supposed to have water, they have seats. When we walk in, there's a press conference going on, and we're like, oh, that's not what we planned on, but it's fine. And so we end up snaking around them. We sit at tables that look like really legit, and people are trying to ask if they can sit next to us, and we're just they're editing, and we're like, oh.
There's some people actually writing their stories and cutting their pictures, and we're sitting around going, well. Hey, I'm kind of thirsty.
We got cold iced tea and fresh baked cookies.
The joys of being a podcaster versus an online journalist, where deadlines.
Right, we're just hey, Facebook or Insta, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? We're gonna do this. Okay, it's fine. But it ended up being great, and that's what I think is fun. With this, we didn't expect this. We've learned so much from this show.
We've really learned a ton.
Right.
Really, we were starting from a pretty low bar.
That's true. It's true. We were babes in the woods. We were noobs. We were in training. Am I allowed to use that? Oh, they steal everything from us.
We were haggard.
Bill, I said it.
Yeah. You know who's going to be putting their applications in for press passes tomorrow?
Exactly.
Don't.
Tomorrow.
No.
Hey, Joan at SEMA. No.
Don't. Bring us back because we went to all your classes.
Actually, no. Let Vicky come.
That's true. We can
fine, no problem.
Vicky can come as part of our podcast.
Absolutely.
But no, I say, we weren't babes in the wood. We were haggard women outside of a Lee's Liquor discount liquor on a children's BMX bicycle with no seat.
Look,
and that's an actual true story from Las Vegas.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Because Vegas.
Hey, the bike had a seat post, but no seat.
All right. We're back to SEMA, everyone.
All right. So the last thing. So one of the things is the Honda, which is. We're talking about this evolution concept of both our racing and this podcast. The Honda has gotten, I dare say, alarmingly fast.
I thought we were talking about SEMA here.
We are. And one of the things is we've been seriously, what used to be good enough when it came to safety is now, we need to start thinking about that. And one of those is a containment seat. So we found ourselves over at the Sparko.
Yeah.
And Sparko had, you talk about stuff that doesn't get stolen. There were $3,000 racing seats
I love this
not
idea.
bolted to anything over in the Sparko booth.
Yeah.
And we're sitting
it's
over.
the Philly Auto Show. Yoink.
Yeah, yoink.
We said this
They
all
were
the time.
they were stuffed it under their
What
shirt.
seat? No.
I brought this one with me.
That's water. Water.
So there,
seat.
Sparko had one of their seats out there was a red suede racing seat. This thing cost more than my last two cars.
dog.
Right.
Yeah. So we're over there, and we're just literally sitting in different seats. And go over to the video that we've got on Facebook and check that out. And actually, we're looking for some votes. And we end up talking to Warren at Sparko.
Good.
And Warren comes over and goes, hey, what are you guys looking at? Well, we've got a car that's gotten really fast, and now we need a containment seat. Oh, what do you race? Oh, we've got a Honda Civic that we've got a KA swap. He goes, oh, let me show you pictures of mine. And he starts bringing up, and Jeff was lost. Chrissy and I went and got a little lunch, caught a movie.
Right.
You went saw,
It was great.
we took a nap, and Jeff and this guy were still on their phones swapping pictures of their various race cars. You raced a Rolls Royce? Oh yeah, wait till you see the Citroen. But no, Warren was legitimately.
On your bingo card.
Someone mispronounced it.
So Warren actually sat down and instead of just here, come look at this $10,000 seat. He goes, okay, what do you need? Well, our drivers range from 5'10" to 6'2". These are the weights. These are our various measurements. He's like, all right, we're going to do this, but the problem with getting that seat is, the thin persons are going to float in there. He actually walked us through all the considerations we need to think about for our next racing seat. So he was just Sparko. Well done hiring Warren. Chrissy?
So it was really interesting because I thought the first seat, I was like, this is great. I love this seat. It's big enough it's way bigger than I needed. And I thought it was going to be great enough for our varying degrees of people that we have sit in our seat, right? So I am the smallest.
We've got to get everybody from Tom Lamino who is Oompa Loompa.
Does Tom listen to the show? Do
No,
we
he
know?
doesn't. It's
Right. Well, all right, now, Giant
Tom,
Dave is.
Tom is the cross between a midget dwarf. He's a midget dwarf.
Sure.
We've had Giant Dave, and Giant Dave is dynamically packaged.
Sure,
But then
yeah,
we get
yeah.
but then we get Jim Wakeman, whose a-hole to crown measurement is huge. So
He's big.
how do you get him in there?
Right.
And Tom Lim.
So when
example.
I sit in this seat, I know I have varying degrees, and I'm lowest. I'm on the lower end. There's other varying degrees that are higher. So
Your width is low, but your length is pretty normal.
sure.
That's what she said.
Mic drop. Done.
Hashtag luxury mammal. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no.
That's for you, Donnie.
No, and his luxury mammals are meme was so good. Anyway, so I sat in the seat. I said, "Okay, this is big enough for what I thought it should be." And then Warren came over and was like, where I sit, my shoulders sit.
Yes.
The holes for the belts were so high that the angle would be so unsafe. He said, this seat is absolutely unsafe for you guys. You have to move to another seat. And that was one of those eye-opening things when we sat in a seat and I thought it was okay, really not appropriate for our team. So
No.
it was really good to when I moved to a different seat and we really found...
Into the microphone.
I'm
Thank you.
sorry.
Yep.
We found good
Prom date.
Sorry. We found really good information to
You
move to a
sound
different...
so much better now.
I found great...
Yeah.
It's She'd
Sorry.
hear it in the headphones.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So we found a different seat. He suggested seat is not you thought it was. You should move to a different one, and then we moved to that one. And we said we thought all the people that were
Right.
going to fit in the seat, that one's the right one.
So we've talked about our favorite booths. We talked about just the whole vibe, the whole thing. We've talked about Overland. And we talked about Overland because Overland is the next big thing. And folks, the manufacturers, that's their job is to make money. So they're going to make stuff for Overland. But something I learned when I was taking the press tour, you just don't bring your car to SEMA. Your car, your show car, has to be sponsored by one of the exhibitors.
Yes.
So there are a ton of cars, and some of them are built by amateurs, and some of them are built by professionals, and then they have the build off. But the idea is the cars are in there to highlight whatever products. Mm-hmm. But they're still so cool.
Yeah. I there has been some.
You only dry humped 2 of them.
Yeah.
Because I was only there for a day, and then the day I had to work tomorrow, all bets are off. I'm bringing a velvet glove.
I have to say, there has been some social media heat. There has been a lot of people in our community who have made fun of, quote, the SEMA car.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, we had, before we even came, I believe it was Chris Egan said, "Oh, how many cars aren't even going to be real?" There are...
A lot of them.
we've
A
had
lot
a
of them
few.
weren't.
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
weren't.
yeah.
But then a lot of them were like
I think-
shredding transmissions in the parking lot because, we'll bolt another one in.
Yeah, I think Pagel said the next person who posts a SEMA car on my feed is going to get... So I posted a SEMA car in his feed.
Oh, he
but
might
what
not.
I should say is there's a lot of bling out there. There's a lot of just stupidly lifted trucks that are probably ruling your Instagram feed.
It's a lot of stuff that's laying frame if it's
Lay
unibody.
in frame, absolutely.
Oh,
but I gotta say,
Justin Howe is sitting in a dark room right now, looking at every one of them, going, "Yeah."
but there are also
Maybe
lots
so.
of very tastefully modified, wild builds
Oh,
that
absolutely.
are great. There's a lot of
With
real
incredibly
race cars,
talented fabrication.
talented,
God.
tremendous fabrication. So if you think that the quote SEMA car is just some blinged out huge wheels thing, you're wrong.
So much less.
There's so
than-
much a wide range and variety of the cars that we've
The
seen.
Chipfu's
And
Jaguar.
a lot of them are terrible, but a lot of them make my pants tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was
If you-
so much less stance. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Less stance.
Stance is over.
Less-
Overland.
there were-
Overland is where it's at.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
but there were less stands and more normal cars. You're like, okay, that's fine. How can I improve the cars that were there? Like we saw, a few Honda Civics, and we're like, oh, that's a lovely car. It needs more camber. Like, there was more cars that we said, how can I improve that
Chris
car?
said a car needed more camber.
Legit, absolutely legit.
I looked at a couple of Hondas and said, They're missing extended top hats on the shocks.
yeah.
There's not
But it
enough
wasn't.
camber.
But there was less like super stance
The
cars.
cage doesn't go to
Yeah.
the door. You have no room.
Yeah.
But
But
find cars were fine.
Yeah. It's a lot of show stuff because it's
It's a
a
show.
show. And when somebody is sending me thousands of dollars of billet aluminum,
Hell, if you want to send me $2,000,
anodized-
I will fuck my alignment all the way out.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah, no.
when you're sending me $10,000 worth of shock absorbers, I'm lifting my truck to the sky to get it into SEMA because you can only show if you're the best of the best.
Right, and like a
But-
lot of those lifted trucks, they don't lift them because that's the proper way to go off-roading. They lift them
Right.
because they're showing
Right.
off that product.
Right.
The undercarriage lighting and the
was your
ridiculous
deal.
wheels in the powder coating on there. It's not there because that's a proper way to go off-roading. It's there to say, look at this amazing product. Look at our attention to detail. Look at how we billet these shocks. And so a lot of these punchline, never been off-road trucks are showing some legitimate off-road hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Not
think?
everything is like the stuff in the Toyota booth. That all looks like it just drove there.
Like
Yeah.
Johnny said.
tastefully done.
But
Tastefully
also
done.
like the guys we met at One Lap, who they all drove everything there. Like they drove an Avalon there and all the crap. Right? And the guys, it seemed the Toyota stuff that comes to Lemons. Like
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
legit. Like
You
basic
know
stuff.
where I think we saw the most real stuff was in accessories.
Yeah.
Like the Thule had that Audi,
Oof.
and there was another roof rack thing that had just a really well done white E30 with remember it had like the big orange octopus above it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a really well done E30, and like there was a lot of rad era stuff.
Yeah, Bradley
There's a lot of
Brownell
stuff.
snuck to the show.
I'm disappointed at the number of.
He
old
did the
Hondas.
one day at the show, and he was posting all the Radwood stuff.
Are we sure it was Bradley?
Oh yeah, no, because he said I'm here for a day, no meetings. I'm just here to take pictures because he lives 7 hours up the road in Reno.
Bummer. We didn't
Should
see
have
him.
called us.
No, I just found out today when I was
I
at
saw
work
the-
on
I
his
saw
Twitter
the
feed. I would
Insta,
have
yeah.
texted him. But yeah, so if you guys while you're following our Instagram, follow Radwood on Instagram. There's some cool stuff.
All right, so let's go around
Yeah,
the horn.
duh.
Most interesting car you saw or something you saw. Say something.
I like the Honda S600 Coupe.
Ooh.
That was there.
Did you see the S800? Never mind. Talk about your 600.
no, that was the N600. I'm talking the black one. The black
Oh, yeah.
coupe,
Yes,
hard
yes.
top, right? Yeah, that was fantastic. Although I gotta say the N600 with the VFR 800 swap with 9-inch shortened Miata subframes, so it was a rear wheel drive
Yeah,
N600. But the best part of
that
it
was on the
this-
GRM
yeah,
Instagram.
the best
feed
part
today.
was the sticker on the back said, "I'm big in Japan."
Yes.
Super cute.
And then they had the real time racing NSX next to a brand new one. No one's looking at the new yellow NSX.
No.
Everyone's looking at the old school
Old
one
school,
going,
baby.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes me feel kind of good. I like mine.
Somebody else say something while I look through.
So
my
I
thousands of
genuinely
pictures.
no, I was gobsmacked at the Chip Foose Jaguar.
Yeah.
I initially
was
didn't
hot.
think it was I didn't think it was a real E-Type. I thought it was one of those Eagle Roadsters that they had on Top Gear.
And the E-Type is one of the most beautiful cars ever made.
Yes, it's easy to screw one up.
And Chip Foose occasionally pushes stuff too far and screws it up.
Mm-hmm.
He did a wonderful job on this. The wheels were 1 inch too big. But that's it.
I'm gonna disagree. The only thing I would have done is I would take the chrome off of them because I'm not a chrome guy. I would have them just the.
No, but that's the heritage of the chrome wires.
It is.
But he went from 15-inch chrome wires to 20-inch chrome
Right.
wires. Like he goes to 18. I mean, they weren't actually wires; they were alloys that looked like wires,
Which
when
was
you got
awesome.
close. Right.
They were pretty
But if you
cool.
go down from the 20s to the 18s, it's not as a shocking thing, and it looks better.
And I everything you're saying is valid, but just from a pure aesthetic standpoint.
Oh, I mean, that thing was hot.
Oh
as
yeah,
can be.
I would take the television out of my house and just park that in my living room and stare at it.
Right? This is a great idea.
You know, mental, there's kind of room.
Right?
Yeah, no,
Right there.
I've got the sliding door right there.
Yeah.
Like that the one guy on Petrolicious who his 512 BBI is his living room.
I've been in someone's house who redesigned one part of their house so that it opened a door, and in the door they had 2 spots for 2 cars because they were a car collector and an architect.
Mm-hmm.
And in the car they had a Bugatti and an Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint Speciale low nose prototype.
Oh.
And those are just parked in the living room for art.
And this is the thing, though. You could call it art.
Okay.
That's really porn.
Oh,
'Cause-
absolutely.
There would be a lot of fingerprints on that car in my living room.
But I wouldn't mind I wouldn't mind parking the NSX in the living room in the wintertime, but we live in Pennsylvania and
And you have a
too
basement.
small.
exactly, yes. Not quite
Chrissy,
right.
did you have a favorite car?
I do. I really enjoyed. There's plenty of cars that were awesome. I enjoyed the NSX, the 2001 racing NSX.
Prom date.
Real-time one.
The real time,
The
yeah.
orange and white one.
Orange
The orange and white one?
Yes.
Yeah, that was
No,
that
real-time
was that
racing.
was an original. That was serial number 008.
Yeah.
So that was a 90.
Yeah,
NSX.
and
Sorry.
they were legit because I remember having a real time racing because they also raced TSXs.
Yeah.
And
They-
ITRs.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they were that was a Honda team.
If you want to really look into the history of Honda, a couple car magazines, like Car and Driver especially, has been to Peter Cunningham of Real Time Racing to his private collection of Hondas. And he has the most interesting, by far, collection of old Hondas in the planet, including the 1960 Chevrolet Apache truck that we saw there today. He restored that. And the Super Cub in the back. And he even has in his collection a redone storefront of Honda's original Los Angeles first showroom
wow,
That's
a
cool.
that's a Honda
why-
nut. That's next
Yeah.
level
in
Honda nut.
his garage
Yeah.
of weird
That's
old
why
Hondas.
Chris is like over.
That's right.
That's my
That's
deal.
Myron Vernus level of
Yes.
that's fantastic.
They were lovely. It
I've
was
only
lovely.
had like 12 Hondas in my life.
This one was lovely, and I wanted to do a post on the who did it best. The 2001
Yes.
Acura or our 05, which is.
I mean, people are
It's
going
a
to pick
different-
P.D. Cunningham's because it's Vortex Supercharger.
Yeah.
and
Sure,
race car,
sure.
and it's
It's a
serial
different-
it's NSX serial number 8.
Oh, 8. Right.
8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, so I'm looking at the notes here.
Well, I didn't do my car yet.
What's your car? What's your car, Jeff?
So I'm,
Scout.
The
RC Scout.
The RC Scout was
Well, hold
probably
on,
the
because
favorite
that's
thing.
I shared that on my Facebook in case you're Christmas shopping for me.
Yeah.
We shared it to Jeff's wife, too.
Yeah. So I saw some pretty cool Safari 911s, and they
One of the Momo booths is pretty
the
hot.
one in the Momo booth was really good.
Is that dark gray one?
Yeah,
Oh,
the dark gray
that
one
is
was
hot.
Digidash
really
and-
nice.
Yeah, I saw that one. Oof, 964. Oof.
But there was a white one later. I am like a crazy Porsche guy. I did a really cool video on the Magnus Walker 914.
Oh, the 914. You did that for.
But
Eric.
It went weird, and so it didn't show up. So Eric, I'm sorry.
No, it showed up. It showed up.
But no, I had to delete it because it was sideways. I didn't keep it.
Just turn your head left,
Just
Eric.
turn your head left. No, but we deleted it.
All right.
But I'm gonna say the 550 Spiders. So the Toyo booth. So I'm just gonna call it the Toyo booth. The Toyo stadium-sized tent
Yeah.
had some fantastic builds. They were all independent builds. There were 2 550 Spiders that had just immaculate
Originals or the Beck?
They
the
were
Beck
original.
reimaginations.
It was not clear either way. My vote is that they were recreations. Jeff says they're originals.
I
Okay.
think they were
'Cause
original.
One of
everything
them
I-
was a center drive,
Yeah.
and one of them was a turbo on the back.
Okay,
Like,
because the Beck 550 is actually supposed to be better than the original. We digress.
we can't tell you what it was, but it's 550 Spider-ish thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
who cares?
they-
Totally would drive it. So, but folks are selling stuff. Chris, didn't you buy something? Jeff's getting free crap, but
no,
Chris,
no, I bought 2 things during
Yes.
the course of this race. Once was we went to the Loctite booth because
Oh, this is. But don't bust your.
I'll let
nut
Chrissy
here.
talk about the Loctite.
So-
one.
okay,
But-
fair enough.
Sure.
So
not
I went to a
here.
different. I went to a different
It's
booth.
Loctite. Don't bust your nut.
It's
See,
no,
it's Loctite.
You know
It's
what?
Loctite. Get it? It's a joke.
That's
Stop
a knee
it.
slapper, Jeff.
I
Slapping
don't care.
something.
Stop
So-
it.
I went to a booth. I can't remember what the name of the tool is right now, but
Oh,
essentially,
it's no right. It's tight right.
what is it?
I'm sorry.
No, tight reach tool. So essentially, it's like imagine a little like dog bone kind of thing, where you put on one end, you can put a 3/8 inch socket,
Oh, I love this thing. Yeah.
and 12 inches different. You can put in your ratchet from either side, So when you had a really tight thing where you can't swing a ratchet, you put this thing down in on the bolt, and the other end, you put your ratchet, and you can put a 1/2 inch or a 3/8,
or an impact,
or an impact,
right?
They were impact
and you
ready.
put it on, and so it basically transfers your torque to a different spot. So we've all worked on that absolutely BS alternator that sucks and you hate and you can't do anything with. This is the way around it, and it's like a one family operation. Like I'm paying for the thing, and the lady, and she's got all these calendars out front. She's like, "I'm sorry, I'm figuring out my kids' like sports schedules this year." So she's
What
right.
is-
So nice people. Oh, and
What?
so I'll give you a review after we do it because.
yeah.
Frankly, it seems like a fantastic idea, and for the 4 times a year I'm going to need it,
That's
I
yeah.
am going
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
so
exactly.
excited
Exactly.
about it. So anyway, that was a fun tool. Thank you.
Nice tools.
So tomorrow, because tomorrow is the last day, you guys are on a plane tomorrow at 10:55 West Coast time, which means
Oh Jesus!
I'm going to be fresh as a daisy.
3 in the morning, you're
Oh,
leaving
Jesus.
here.
I'm going to be fresh as a daisy for work Friday morning. So don't worry.
So I was going to do a quick thing about Apex. Sorry.
Oh,
so
go for it.
there's SEMA and there's Apex,
Yeah,
right?
AAPEX.
Apex. Okay, right. So we've been asking people what is Apex, right? So there's SEMA and it's like the
So
there's-
APEX, I'll just tell you a little bit of geography. So our tickets, we were told, work for both Apex and SEMA.
Sure.
And we kept going, well, what the hell is Apex?
Right.
So then I looked at it on the map, and it's actually in another part of Las Vegas.
absolutely.
It's at the Sahara,
The Sahara,
Right.
yeah.
It's
which the
different-
convention center is attached to the Westgate.
But we said, is this worth it, right? So we talked when we're talking to the guy. So we said there's a low key.
NGK.
So so the booths have each one of those. Oh no! What?
Actually, first off, started when we were at the coming to the airport in Philadelphia. The guy in our airport shuttle was going to Vegas, and we were on the same flight. And he said, "Oh," when we were already there, and we said, "Oh yeah, we're going to the same place." And he said, "Oh, I'm going to Apex. Where are you guys going?" And we said, "Yeah, we're going to SEMA. It's the same thing." And he's like, "Yeah, you're going to have a much better time at SEMA. Apex is really pretty boring." And essentially, Apex seems like, from what he was talking about and what we've seen, it's like the people who also build the stock-ish replacement ball joints for things. And the tie rod, it's not the Heim joint and rods or the things like that. It's the stock replacement stuff. So that's the difference between Apex and SEMA from what we can tell.
But they really have these like the meeting rooms, and they say their large chain reps go into each of them and say, "Are you going to?"
So they speak about their products. They talk to their stores. They make a meeting. They talk about the product, and then they try to deal and leave. But NGK was telling us about this. They couldn't wait to get back to SEMA because SEMA is much more interesting than Apex. Because Apex is kind of like stock. Like, I can make a thing that's as close to your thing as you want it, but maybe it's 8 cents cheaper.
Yeah,
Yay!
I moved my plant from Taiwan to mainland China, and now my quarter panels are 35 cents cheaper. So Mako or Bob's Auto Body.
Keystone will sit on the show. Right. They'll pick those up and make it much better. Right. So that's the difference between the Apex and SEMA. SEMA is the dreams. Apex is kind of the reality
of the work.
And that's actually a really good. Yeah, that's a really good. You're going to need boring replacement parts, and Apex is there.
Yeah, which is fine. No, I just go
And
to Rock Auto.
to give you a hint, Apex is based out of Mokina, Illinois.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, very exciting place. Oh my gosh,
Okay.
I'm yawning like a
So
mo. It is.
we're almost at the end here.
Whew.
I want to talk about the hospitality of.
All right, so because you guys know how insecure I am.
I'm going to say mostly it's the hospitality of Victoria Ward.
Valid.
Really. Because we had an incredibly delicious meal tonight of homemade prepared enchiladas with a delicious sauce and a
much
vat of
fun.
guacamole as we were preparing our notes for this kind of thing.
The beans were legit. I don't know what.
And we're not-
Truly
All of them are
refried
so
beans that
legit.
she
Yeah,
started
they
on
were
about
so
10 hours
And we
before
are
dinner.
not sleeping in the same room as Jeff, so he can have as many beans as he wants. That's fantastic.
We're going to go to the hot tub. We're not even going to turn on the jacuzzi.
No, it's
Right?
fine. 'Cause we're gonna have our own. But we've gotten chauffeur service all over the
was
place.
so-
We've gotten beverages here.
You guys
So-
have
Look.
been
Can I talk
warts.
about the best part about this?
Yeah.
The mutts.
Oh, the
I
mutts
love
are
petting these puppies.
These puppies are so good.
Shaky
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah, we
No.
had we should introduce them, right? We have Moko, the best Chihuahua on the planet.
That any of
I
us
have
have ever
not
met.
Don't
heard
tell
it
him that.
bark.
Don't let him
No,
hear
we won't
I
hear
that.
him.
has not bitten
He's
me
away.
once.
But he's so
No.
good.
Like, it's the only Chihuahua I've ever been able to pet because all of the other ones are vicious demon spawn.
So I
Although
said,
he's very energetic, because I remember when I brought him to Pittsburgh, Chrissy, like, oh, I'm going to take the cute one for a walk. And she comes back 30 minutes later holding the leash, and she goes, this thing is exhausting. I've only had him for 30 minutes, and I'm tired.
I'm not wrong.
so we have Cheech, the wiener dog, who
Currently sleeping under a blanket.
He
about
actually just came in and
15
burrowed
feet.
under his blankets.
I was petting the wiener dog all night, and it didn't get bigger, so I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah.
It's not how big the wiener dog is; it's how well he cuddles.
And then Rika is the most vicious looking Rottweiler who loves belly rubs, basically. Yes.
oh,
Rika is more fluffy than your average Rottweiler. Like, there's definitely something going on.
Oh
in
no,
there.
she's a bird dog. She's got a lot of fur on her.
Yeah.
No, and-
So
But
good.
what great dogs, what great people.
Right.
And we
Yeah.
sat in the hot tub last night.
Yeah.
We're drinking tequila.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you're coming to SEMA, stay at Mental House. I think that's what we're saying.
Sorry, we're booked.
There's
We're booked up.
200,000 of them coming to
We're
town.
booked up. We're booked up next year because
I
we're coming
mean-
back.
Yeah,
All
we're all booked
right,
up.
we're
So,
coming back.
Oh, yeah.
So
You'll
how
be
about this?
without Jeff.
so how about this? If you want to go to SEMA next year and you kind of know us, ask Vicky if there's room.
Uh-huh.
That's your answer.
Yeah.
So
All right, well, yeah,
good.
if Jeff's not coming, Vicky Fisher, we have a room for you.
All right,
Oh,
so
no.
let's wrap it up. Last thoughts on SEMA. This is not the last thought on SEMA
Last time SEMA for tonight.
for tonight, because we got to wrap up this podcast. It is hella long,
Yeah.
and it is hella late, and Jeff is about to fall asleep.
You need more purple drink.
I do need more purple drink. Here's what I'm going to say. Huge. Huge, huge, huge. It is bigger than you could possibly imagine. And I'm going to say the most important thing you need to know is the official uniform of SEMA is a mechanic shirt embroidered with your name and your company logo
or
on
a golf
it.
shirt.
Or a golf shirt, yes, with your company logo on
Yeah.
it, and a pair of sneakers. Everybody said
Very
it, but it is
comfortable walking
legit.
shoes.
You need real live.
You know what I needed this year?
shoes.
Is our Jazzy.
Yeah, well, you're a little Gimpy McGimperson. So.
You know, even if I weren't Gimpy McGimperstein or Gimpy McGimperberg,
And I feel like we could have scored a new racing seat if you were rocking around that thing with the APC race.
no, it's a Sparko.
It's a Sparko.
R300.
Exactly. I think Momo would have been like, whoa, get that thing off there. We can fix this. We can.
So, yeah, if you can bring a Jazzy, I highly recommend you do. But if not, yeah, the shoes are good. But the biggest thing about SEMA, though, is hang on. Like, you are not going to fit it all in, no matter what you want.
No, you can't.
You can't come with a focus, come with a target, and understand you're not going to see everything.
Yeah.
We thought, yeah, no problem. We got 3 days. We'll see all of it. No way. No way.
And you guys have been there, like,
All the time.
you're at the doors when
dusk
they
till
open
dawn.
the
Till they
doors
close.
until they throw you out.
And and even then, I feel like we could go to 80% of the booths and talk to them about something.
Yeah.
And very quickly we learned, like, if they're interested in talking to us or not, which is
Yeah.
fine. But no matter what, we can talk to them about something. So, like, it's just big.
We did skip a lot of booths. Like, we didn't talk to any of the LED light pod people or
The
Chinese
800, like
tire people.
like Xinjiang Zhong
What was it?
Purple Light Company.
Purple Light Company.
Right.
There are a lot of people that we have no business talking to and don't care
well,
about.
how do you tell which Chinese LED company is good?
You don't. Well, like
I did know, actually, one of my favorite
But if you
moments
are
was
a
today.
Chinese LED company and you're looking to evaluate your products, we will bolt it
please
to.
send them.
Yeah, we'll bolt it to our
Nissan
race car.
Titan, whatever you think.
Right.
Of Nissan
No,
Titan.
for
courtesy
the race
of
car,
Mental
like
Ward,
Champ.
Yeah.
Tumbleweed Lane, Las Vegas,
Absolutely.
Nevada. So anyway, one of my favorite moments to in looking at, like, people are all the booths are trying to attract people to their things. Some of them have booth babes.
Yes.
Some of them have Halloween candy. One of my favorites today was there was a floor mat company. It was a.
I just remembered where you're going.
So it had. I'm not going to give the name, but it was like wonderful, worldwide. Quality was the third W was quality, right? But anyway, their attraction people on their booth was 2 paper plates of crumbled up Doritos.
I'm convinced that was not for you to eat.
No,
that was to show like how much Doritos you could spill in your car and knock it on the carpet. But
it was not ironically.
Tires are like nothing
No,
good.
really, they're trying to sell floor mats, and they've got 2 paper plates of like take the Dorito bag and sit on it, and then pour it on a paper plate.
yeah.
And then try to have people eat said Doritos and talk to you about your business. It's not going to work.
No.
Somebody went. This is gonna be great, man. I'm telling you, brah. It's gonna work.
Smithers, the Cheetos, please. Right? So that was my favorite moment today. Is from the.
All right, no. So we're all right. So
I'm done.
No, and that's legit. So we've had a great time. We're honestly, are we feeling like we're going to try and come back next year?
I will not
three of
get a
us will.
hall
Three of
pass.
us
Let me sober up and I'll tell you.
All right.
We had such a great time.
Yeah.
We really did. We learned a lot. We did seminars and we visited
SEMA is
so
about
many.
education.
Totally surprised about the education.
We,
and the quality.
SEMA's
we
all
also
shit
just really
education.
we visited a bunch of places that were.
Yeah, next year depends on like if Kathy says, "Hey, you guys want to race Laguna Seca again?" Then we'll say, "Sorry, SEMA."
Yeah,
Right. But we had a great time. We learned a lot from different vendors that are around.
Yeah.
And we got some cred because we showed up and said, there's 3 of us that have the same shirts and said...
And we've made some
By the
actually...
way, and we have not said this on the air, Jeff. Thank you for making those shirts happen because that's actually now my new favorite.
We have
shirt
made
wear.
some legit interesting connections here
Yes.
that are going to help
Yes,
not
we
just
did.
us,
So,
but
we-
our
we
fellow
have so
endurance
much-
racing
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Pros.
We are going to become the LS swap gurus.
Sure.
Because we are going to do it, and people are going to say, how did you do that on budget? And we're going to talk about some people in the future.
Legit people, yeah, that's dope.
All right, moving on.
So it is time for the hella sweet or but terrible, and we have 2 choices. Should we do we want to talk about both of them? or-
Let's just pick one.
All right.
Go for it, Mental.
How can I convince you guys to go on the Denver rally? It's in the summer and it's over a weekend, which is why Eric structured it the way it is.
Where's the Denver rally to and from?
It is from
And
it's in
when
Colorado
does it start?
Springs. It is from Denver to Colorado Springs.
So that's an hour and a half drive.
It is. I feel like they're going to throw some stuff in the middle of it because it is
Well, I
July
mean,
10th, 11th, and 12th.
the
It is
Great
just-
Lakes mistake
it
went
is just
around,
3 days.
started and finished at the same
Yes.
place.
But that was 3,000 miles.
yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So just because it starts here and ends here doesn't mean it doesn't
Okay.
go
So
somewhere.
does that mean we have to have Eric on? But
Well, and we always
Well,
like
hey,
having
into the
Eric on.
microphone.
I have to go look and see what the schedule is for next year. But we love Colorado.
Yes, and Colorado in the summer is actually a lovely
So
place
the problem,
to be.
our
So it's Friday the 10th, Saturday the 11th, Sunday the 12th,
Of what month?
July.
Thank you.
so our problem with this is that we are going to take all of June off.
Oh, we do have that. We do
We're
have
going.
that
Yeah.
I'm
minor
going to,
event.
We're going to France.
So work
All
from home
of
on
June.
Friday. And when I say work from home, I mean work on the
Legit.
work on the airplane.
So legit,
No,
all-
don't go here.
we're
I'll
off-
meet you in Denver. I'll pick you up at the
off
airport.
all of June.
It all depends on what kind of car we can find. So we're going to have to talk about it because if you can find a Scout,
Yes, Colorado is the place to get the rust-free
Ooh.
Scout too. by the
Excuse
way.
me, Las Vegas
Las
is
Vegas,
the place to get
if-
the rust-free
no,
everything.
no.
If Mental found a '78 Toyota Hilux
No,
that
no.
is not full Swiss cheese,
No, there's like
The-
no rust. It's
The
got surface
two
rust.
largest international Scout part suppliers are both in Colorado Springs.
Sure.
So,
but if you want a rust-free
sure.
anything,
we're going to keep arguing about this. If you have an opinion about this, we're going to go 2 words: hell sweet or butt terrible for each of us as we go around the table. Ready, set, Jeff.
But terrible.
Mental.
hella sweet.
Chrissy?
No.
Hella terrible. Okay, so
Hella terrible. But I didn't get to say
how
why.
about butt sweet?
I didn't get to say why because if
Fine.
we are going to do a rally, we're going to do the one that starts or ends at New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Because if we're going to do a rally, we're going to do it in a caged car and we're going to race it and rally it.
Oh, see, I was going to get Porsche 928 and do it that way. But anyway,
Sure.
Which I'm doing a Porsche, or I'm doing a Lemons rally next week, which leads us actually. Oh, what a lovely segue! Leads us into our next show promo. So next week I'll be reporting. We'll still do all of the normal show stuff, but I'm going to be reporting live from the World Tour of Texas Rally in Texas. Florida Man Donnie has a marvelous rally creation that I am sworn to secrecy about, but it is so hella sweet. And my dumbass is going to be driving Steph's Porsche.
Oh, that's sad.
No, it's going to be
it
awesome
could be the
because
311.
there's
It's
no
not bad.
glass in it, so I'm taking my motorcycle rain gear.
We can't
Oh no,
hear you.
Steph's in the Porsche. She's dedicated. Steph's hardcore. She'll be riding in her own Porsche.
Oh, this has been a long podcast. This has been a long weekend. We are so tired from SEMA. We still have a full day to do. Thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It is totally free. Then go to frickin' iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. You know what?
Or a 1-star.
We already heard this. Give whatever kind of stars you want. But tell us why you like us. 5 stars is great, but whatever.
Or why you hate us.
Tell us why you hate us. We don't care. Even if you give us 5 stars, tell us why. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop a comment on the Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram. Nobody Twitters anymore. Just go to Instagram.
Actually, we Twitter all the time.
No,
you guys
tweet.
just don't.
It's not
Me,
your thing.
Donnie, and Ike Twitter with
Twitter's-
David
Twitter's is
Orbushowski. We
dead.
Twitter all the
Twitter's dead.
time. We
That's what
Twitter
everyone
all the
tells us.
time.
Thanks again, and until
Find us on
next week,
Twitter.
keep the shiny SEMA side up.
Because it's SEMA.
The metal flake side
Because it's
up.
SEMA, it's all shiny.
It is. Not a lot of flat paint. Flat
No.
paint is dead. Flat paint is dead. And we ran out of music. Just keep the wheels down, everybody.
Good night.